Paint Train Pipe Bomb and Sound Machine FM, in association with Stream On Distro and City Lights Worldwide Media, present Zac Mac and Boy Blu in concert. This is a Paint Train Pipe Bomb production.
Thank you very much. That was Still Got the Blues by Gary Moore. Hope you all enjoyed that. Hope you all having a great Sunday. So, if you could give me a minute or two, I'm going to switch over to the acoustic and we'll do a couple songs on that. So just bear with me a minute. Won't take long. Alright. Okay, there we go. So yeah, now onto the acoustic songs. Alright. Okay, so now we're back. This next song we'll be playing for you, it's by Radiohead. It's called Fake Plastic Trees. This is one of my personal favourites. So yeah, Fake Plastic Trees by Radiohead. Green plastic watering can from the fake Chinese rubber plants and the fake plastic girl. She bought from a rubber man and a town full of rubber plants to get rid itself. The words around, the words around, the words around, the words around. She was super broken now. Crack all the starry mounds, who just crumbles and burns. He's needed surgery for girls in the 80s, but gravity always wins. The words about, the words about, the words about, it was. She looks like the real thing. She tastes like the real thing. My fake plastic love. But I can't help the feeling I could move through the ceiling if I just turn and run. And it wears me out. It wears me out. and wears me out, and wears me out. If I could be who you are now, if I could be who you are now, all the time, all the time. Thank you very much. I hope you all enjoyed that. Right. So this next song we'll be doing, it's by Fleetwood Mac. This is an absolute classic. It's The Chain, and hope you all enjoy it. Here we go. Listen to the wind blow, watch the sunrise. Run in the shadows, down your love, down your lies. And if you don't love me now, you will never love me again. I can still hear you saying you would never break the chain. And if you don't love me now, you will never love me again. I can still hear you saying you would never break the chain. Listen to the wind blow, down comes the night. Run in the shadows, down your love, down your lies. Break the silence, down the dark, down the night. And if you don't love me now, you will never love me again. I can still hear you saying you would never break the chain. And if you don't love me now, you will never love me again. I can still hear you saying you would never break the chain. Together, running in the shadows, keep us together. Shine, keep us together, running in the shadows, keep us together. Shine, keep us together. Thank you very much. That was The Chain by Fleetwood Mac. Alright, so I'm gonna play one more song for you. This is by Oasis. This is one of my favourites. It's called Live Forever. So I hope you all enjoy. Here we go. Baby, I don't really want to know if your garden grows, 'cause I just want to fly. Lately, did you ever feel the pain in the morning rain as it soaks you to the bone? Maybe I just wanna fly, wanna live but don't wanna die. Maybe I just wanna breathe, maybe I just don't believe. Maybe you're the same as me, we'll see things I'll never see. You and I are gonna live forever. Say maybe, I don't really wanna know. Your garden grows, so I just wanna fly. Lately, did you ever feel the pain? The morning rain that soaks you to the bone. Maybe I will never be all the things that I wanna be. Now is not the time to cry, now's the time to find out why. I think you're the same as me, we'll see things I'll never see. You and I are gonna live forever. Baby, I don't really wanna know how your garden grows, 'cause I just wanna fly. Lately, did you ever feel the pain in the morning rain that soaks you to the bone? Maybe I just wanna fly, wanna live but don't wanna die. Maybe I just wanna breathe, maybe I just don't believe. Maybe you're the same as me, we'll see things I'll never see. You and I are gonna live forever. Gonna live forever. Gonna live forever. We're gonna live forever. We're gonna live forever. We're gonna live forever. We're gonna live forever. Thank you very much. That was Live Forever. And yeah, that's my very last song to do. I'm gonna hand these over to Lisa Blue now. And yeah, hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you next time.
Okay, so that was Zac Mac, and we are now toward the interview portion of this lovely little live broadcast.
We're gonna have to turn this down, I think.
Yeah, that's a little bit of feedback there. I'm not editing that part out.
All right, I'm good. We turned you down.
All right. Yeah, well, I always get turned down if I get annoying, but
Well, I'm not gonna touch that one.
all right. So we are now currently here with Lisa and Sean of Boy Blue. How are you guys doing, by the way?
Tired?
I know that feeling because
Yeah.
building this production exactly wasn't the easiest part, but
Right.
you know, it's been a weird setup because again, like we were supposed to be on last weekend, and then life hit, and we had to,
Yeah.
postpone again. But
Yes.
so I guess I get to go into the questionnaire Jeopardy part of the show.
Okay.
So I really do have to ask, how did this collaboration start?
Well, let's go back from the beginning. My brother-in-law and Sean, my brother-in-law, who's also an amazing musician out of New York, and Sean have been friends for what, 30 years or so? What, more?
Well, I'm 25 now, so it must have been 20 years.
20 years since Sean's only 25 today. And anyway, so I had already had a couple of other radio shows going back 10, 15 years now, different type of shows, print shows, 80s shows, Christmas shows, and that sort of thing. So I went over Ireland, to make a long story short, with my brother-in-law, met a whole bunch of musicians, made a bunch of friends, and decided to create an Irish, Scottish musician show. And was syndicated through Sound Machine, although at the time it was up in Canada. And then I started thinking, okay, I'm going to bring Sean on the show and interview him and have him, play a few of his songs. And then I had already at that point started embarking in on a solo career and asked him to come in, play guitar on some of my stuff and produce it. So that's kind of where we started. And we decided we clicked so well musically, we decided just to run with it and started creating some music, and here we are.
So what's the exact like collaboration? I mean, obviously being on two different time zones and being so far away from each other, how hard is it to actually synchronize all the music and build it and meet up with being the time's so different?
The producer. Well,
Yeah,
Sean's producing all of our stuff, so I'll let him talk about that.
it's actually not really that difficult. When I say not that difficult, I mean, it's obviously far better, and you have more control as a producer if you're in the room with somebody when they're recording, because you can say, try it this way or do that. You can make changes on the spot rather than getting something via the internet, listening to it and saying, this should be this and this should be that, and then sending the information back. But having said that, with the way recording has gone nowadays and technology and the speed of the internet and all the rest of it, the big problem is the fact that there's a 6-hour time difference. That's probably the most annoying thing about it, is because it means I have to stay up late at night, which I normally don't do, because I'm normally in bed at about 10 and up at like 6 o'clock mowing the lawn or something like that.
All lies. All of it's lies. No, luckily he's up all night anyway, pretty much, and that kind of works out with my schedule, the 6-hour difference. So every night we're at it. Since I don't know, we're working really hard. But I'd say since August of 2020, we've been working like that, and this is our first time being in the same continent, much less country.
So how different is it that being with the distance to now? Like, does it have a different feel to it? Does it feel original, or does it feel the same as if you guys were interacting from North America over to Europe?
It kind of just flowed naturally the same way. I mean, yeah, there was it wasn't a gap of, oh, we're doing this in person. It just kind of flowed with it. Like we'd always been, working at music together. So it was pretty natural. We have yet to get into the studio since he's been here, because we've been working on this production. But that's next. That's what we'll be doing over the next couple of weeks, is finally being in the studio together in the same room and being able to get some originals knocked out, like, hopefully very quickly.
Well, it's definitely experience, because since I had started doing Pipe Bomb Radio last year in March, we've done over 200 shows, and a lot of the artists that we do get are in the same situation that you guys are currently, where there's recordings from, let's say, Pennsylvania, and then there's recordings from Canada, and then it's the whole mixing aspect to getting the perfect sounds or getting the feel for what the artists are truly looking for. So it's starting to become a little bit more unique with the distances. For example, we do have an artist that lives in Arizona, and her partner is all the way down to Brazil. So it's kind of like all of that same unique style is really going on right now because the world is just kind of messed up with this global bastard stuff. But
Yeah, yeah, and we heard that actually. We've heard that we started this at the beginning of the pandemic, and every time someone interviews us, they say, well, now we know so and so who's doing this, from across the water, and we know this band that's doing that. So I think that it's going to foster a lot more musicians collaborating worldwide like that. And as long as technology can keep up with it, I don't see what the problem is. Now, when you want to perform live, eventually people want to see you live, and doing it this way is great. It's a great alternative. But eventually people still want to come out and see some live music and sit at your feet and you know what I mean, and throw quarters at you and that sort of thing. So that's a different story. But for now, making music and then doing some live feeds online, I can see that becoming the norm.
it's just great though because it brings a lot of unique talents together, a lot of different sounds. For example, again, like I mentioned, the Arizona Brazil mix.
Hmm.
Um, and then again, with what you guys have, like, there's so many different talents out there that they just need to find like the correct fit.
Right.
And even with people not being in, let's say, the same time zone or the same continent, it, it it gives everybody that unique fit, and the sound is so crisp, which is great for
Right.
one. And I can understand the challenge of production as well, which is what I think that a lot of the artists, like you guys and a few of the other artists that we do air on the radio show, have that great fit for all of the different pieces being put together.
Right. Right, and that's the key too. You have to be able to. I mean, you have to kind of hit it off with somebody to musically be able to click to make that work long distance. I think, and be able to get along and understand each other. The communication has to be kind of on point, and that came natural for us. We didn't really have to work at that. So,
Yeah, another thing that's actually relevant, Ricky, is, and particularly from the point of view of producing, um, as in my case, this particular project, um, you have to be able to accept criticism in the spirit that it's intended, which is to try and get the best possible result. Because, like, it's not the simplest thing in the world to have somebody who's 3,500 miles away from you, and there's a 6 hour time difference between you, saying that you've done X, Y, Z wrong, or that you could do it an awful lot better, or So,
right.
like, you have to allow for that kind of stuff. That's going to happen. And as Lisa said, we've been fortunate as far as we know that we have the common goal, which is that the music be right at the end of it. But like, I wouldn't like to be doing it with somebody like who I hadn't been speaking to beforehand, who just said to me, "Can you come in and do this project with me?" Blah blah blah, and I'd say, "Yeah, sure, but you've got to change this part, and you need to re-sing that part, and um, because it can come across the wrong way
Hmm.
with such a time difference and such a physical difference between you,
Yeah, not being in the same room, reading body language. You know what I mean? Just hearing. And same thing when you're going back and forth with emails and that sort of thing. The communication has to be on point.
Yeah,
I
it's like
think.
it's like you can't actually say, well, first of all, when you're actually reading a message that's sent to you, you're not hearing the voice inflections the way you're hearing my voice now. Or if I get angry, I speak like that. Or if I get real placid, speak, that doesn't come across in the message. It's just the actual words and the story. There's no expression to the words that you're looking at a screen and seeing. This is what somebody has just said to me.
Right.
And people can get, as I say, a little bit bent out of shape and offended by that. But we're way past that. It's like we can say, no, it sounds terrible. We need to do this or whatever again. Actually, we haven't ever been in that situation. But I'm just giving you an example. Like we've been in situations where I've wanted things a particular way, and just to communicate that to somebody who's, as I say, 3,500 miles away and 6 hour time difference without upsetting them. Uh, like sending a message sometimes just doesn't work. You're better off making that phone call, and they can actually hear what it is that you're trying to say
Right.
and understand the way you're saying it much better than like typing a message and saying, "Can you redo this vocal?" Blah blah blah, and they're going, "Well, I thought that sounded great," you know.
Right. And the other thing is, like in my case, I'm doing my vocals in my house, in my home studio, and it's just me. So I'm being the engineer, I'm being the artist, I'm being my own producer, so I'm having to press buttons and jump back behind the mic. So it's not easy in that way. As if we were in the studio together, like he would be doing all that for me, that kind of stuff. So you have to learn how to work like that, I think. And like I said, more and more artists are doing it this way. So I think it'll become the norm. I think somebody should write, a nice little white paper or articles about how to do this.
Yeah, but also at the same right though, it just goes to show like the cohesiveness and the teamwork that goes into being
Yes.
again like Sean said, over 3,000 miles away, 6 hours difference in time zone. Like that's the biggest part of the teamwork of being able to collab on doing this with such a huge distance. Because if you don't have that cohesiveness, that's where you're going to get your bumps and bruises and misreading of text and emails and
Exactly.
a lot of people do video conferencing now, like Zoom and whatnot. And I don't even know how even recording an actual track would work by Zoom. But maybe at some points that's how some people are doing it. But again,
Right.
like that cohesive stuff is the best part of the teamwork of it. Is
Yeah.
that if you can rely on your team, well, I say it as team, but as band members, that makes everything work so much better. And again, a lot of the artists that I've heard cannot get that teamwork down. Quite a few have gotten it down amazing. You guys have absolutely killed it
Thank you.
from all of the tracks that I've gotten to air on the show. So again, like some could do it better than others, and sometimes you just need to work a little bit harder at what it is that you're trying to achieve.
See, one of the things is, Ricky, that you, when I say you need to understand, I don't mean you personally need to understand, like globally, you need to understand about doing something like this is, um, it's still a creative process.
Hmm.
You know, that's the whole goal is that you're actually creating something. And um, like if I gave some clay to somebody who was going to mold it, if I gave the same piece of clay to 100 people, you'd probably get 100 different shapes back.
Yeah.
But you have to kind of focus in on, okay, this is the goal. This is what we want it to sound like or look like at the end of the day.
Right.
Now, you don't have necessarily always the ideal situations insofar as you might want a certain piece of equipment or you might want, a certain instrument or whatever that isn't to hand.
Hmm.
So you make compromises. And I think that's the most important thing when you're actually working with somebody who's on a different continent or even just in a different country and you're actually physically in the room with them is you have to compromise on things. And eventually you have to make decisions because you just go around chasing your tail if you didn't say, okay, that's good, let's run with that. And those decisions need to be made at the start because there's no point in spending like a week getting a song right and doing the whole 9 yards if the actual building blocks were wrong to begin with,
Yeah.
because it's just you're adding to the problem.
Yeah.
So you need to kind of make those decisions straight away. Okay, this is the kind of drum sound we're going for. This is the kind of feel we want off the track, and move on from there.
And it takes a lot of time, like an extra time, more so than you would if you were in the same state, in the same city, in the same studio together. Because, we're on the phone every night, 6 or 7 hours a night, going over tracks, going over sounds, going over this. And then during the day, I'm recording vocals or he's recording his part. So, like a good part of your day is spent doing this if you're doing it remotely like this. Even more so than, spending 10 hours, 12 hours in the studio.
Yeah.
So, but it works. And liking the same kind of music helps. Being on the same page with the music is, I think, the important part.
It's a very difficult challenge, but I do definitely congratulate you guys both on the success that you guys have had so far in
Right.
the little over a year and a half that this has been going on.
Yeah, and the other thing is being in different countries, you have twice the fan base that way. So you have twice the reach that way. So I mean, we're being played on celestial and internet radio in 9 different countries. And I think attribute a lot of that is the fact that we're playing from and recording from 2 different continents. So we have 2 different sets of fan bases that we're bringing together. So that helps a lot too.
Okay, so we have this lovely little music set that you put together.
Yeah.
What are we going to have the fans expect in this lovely set of music that we are going to be airing?
Well, we did quite a few songs. Most of them are covers, and that's again because a lot of the recordings we have done have been covers, because it's easier to do during a pandemic when you can't physically get into a studio. We were doing a few covers, and then when the lockdowns in Ireland started, he couldn't get back into the studio to do mixing and mastering, so he was doing things from home, and just like I was. So but there are songs that everybody's going to know and love, and no matter if it's a cover or not, we do it our way all the time. We make it our own, and I think that's what's unique about it. And we have a guest keyboardist that came in from Pensacola, Florida, with us, named Joe Guidice. I've said it about 5 different ways this week. And he came in and sat on a couple songs, and he had his great voice, nice little bluesy voice, and we let him he sang one song himself too. So you'll see a couple different variations of things. We rock out a little bit, then we take it down and sit down and kind of just do an unplugged type of thing. There are at least 2 or 3 songs that we weren't able to finish in time, that Sean and I are going to sit down and do an acoustic version this week. And we're just going to release it as a video, kind of as a thank you and a follow-up to this particular show for everybody. But there's like 2 or 3 songs that we really wanted to include on the set list that we couldn't. So that will be coming out probably towards the end of the week.
That would be sweet.
Yeah.
I love playing music.
Good.
All right. So would you like to announce the first track, and we'll get into the music montage?
Sure. Well, the first track is a combination of, it's an NXS song, right? Big NXS hit called Need You Tonight. But when we first heard it, but when we first decided to do it, we were listening to Bonnie Raitt's version, because that's kind of more the style of Boy Blue, right? So the tracks that we needed and what we created, we thought, okay, we're going to do a combination of both. So that's kind of what you're going to hear in this version of Need You Tonight. It's kind of a combination of vocally, especially a Bonnie Raitt version, and then in excess, kind of their music. And then Sean's guitar playing, that's all unique as usual and spectacular. So the first track is Need You Tonight by NXS.
Okay, so just give everybody the tip jar. I do have it in the description of all of the videos. I'll edit into the audio on Spreaker. And then we'll get into the music, because it's. I think we've done enough talking for
Yeah,
now,
we
right?
have. Everybody's waiting to hear us sing now, finally. Well, we just have a little PayPal account set up. This week we'll have a merchandise page set up as well, with some T-shirts and that sort of thing. But if you want to contribute something, you can just. I think it's PayPal lisabluemusic@gmail.com. No E at the end of blue. And we'll set up something a little bit more official for the next time. But if you want to contribute, that's great. If not, please just sit back and enjoy the show.
Thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate it. I'm absolutely enjoying this lovely event, and hopefully we'll get to do more.
Well, you've done a great job, Ricky. We really appreciate all you've done, especially, constantly. It doesn't matter what we release, you play it, for us. So we appreciate that.
We are one big, huge family over at Pipe Bomb Radio, and we support all of the artists. And they all support us, because they get to help us out too with getting us aired in certain spots, and it's a big love relationship. So I'm kind of good with that.
Right.
All right, here we are, Boy Blue, live here on Pipe Bomb Radio NYC, Sound Machine FM, and Facebook, and YouTube, and Twitter, and Twitch.
slide over here and give me a moment. Your moves are so wrong. I've got to let you know. I've got to let you know. You're one of my kind. I need you tonight, 'cause I'm not sleeping. There's something about you, boy, makes me sweat. How do you feel? What do you think? What you gonna do? So slide over here and give me a moment. Your moves are so wrong. I've got to let you know. I've got to let you know. One of my kind. I need you tonight, 'cause I'm not sleeping. There's something about you, boy, makes me sweat. what you say. When I was a child, I had a fever. My hands felt just like steel balloons. Now I got that feeling once again. I can't explain, you will never understand. This is not how I am. I have become comfortably numb. Have become comfortably numb. Okay, it's just a little pinprick. There'll be no more. Should you feel a little sick? Can you stand out? I do believe it's working. Good. That'll keep you going through the show. Come on, it's time to go. There is no pain for the sleep. A distant ship smoke out the horizon. You are only coming through in waves. Your lips move, I can't hear what you say. you're enjoying yourself. We have the second half of the show coming up, and we are bringing on a guest friend from Pensacola, Florida, Mr. Joe Guidice. He usually plays the keyboards, piano, and sings. However, this particular song we really needed to have him on bass, especially his fancy 1974. What's the name of his bass?
72.
72.
Rickenbacker.
But everybody knows and loves this song. We couldn't do this without playing this song, and we want to dedicate it to Phil Lynott and everybody else in Ireland. So this next cover that we're going to do, it's a Christmas classic, and it's Christmas season. So we thought we'd ask Joe to sing this one. Everybody knows this one. It's the Eagles, Please Come Home for Christmas. Here we go.
Bells will be ringing, sad, sad. Oh, what a Christmas out the blue. My baby's gone. I have a friend. Wish me greetings once again. Choirs will be singing silent night, Christmas carols, candlelight. Please come home for Christmas. Please come home for Christmas. Not for Christmas, New Year's night. Friends and relations, send salutations. Sure as the stars shine above. This is Christmas, Christmas my dear. Time of the year, be with the one you love. So won't you carry your devil home? Christmas and New Year's gonna find you home. There'll be no more sorrow, no grieving pain, and I'll be happy once again. There'll be no more sorrow, no grieving pain, and I'll be happy Christmas once again.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Okay, this next song was our first original that we released together about a year and a half ago. Started it all. We're going to do a little bit more different, a little bit more laid back and freestyle tonight. That's right. Joe over here helping us out, okay? So just relax and feel the groove, Misty Blue. As I move slowly through the clouds and lights, they comfort me. Oh, yeah. out in the misty blue, out in the misty blue, out in the misty blue. That's where I meet you. And I see you every night in my dreams. And I see you shining bright like a moon. And I know together we will always be in the misty blue. As I move slowly through the clouds and I see that they comfort me. And I see you, Lord, in a misty blue. That's where I meet you. Out in the misty
Okay, here we go, Joe.
Press the button.
You got it, Doug.
and keep your hands to yourself.
Boy. feel good to see me. She told me to stop it.
Oh, hubby, hubby, sweet, turn it over now.
My honey, I'm put my load on the shelf.
You know lines and keep your hands to yourself. Oh, hubby, hubby, sweet, turn it make me your wife. You know lines and keep your hands to yourself.
Hey, did you like that show? Click the like button, follow, share, subscribe, share out all of our shows to your social media. Don't forget, check out paintrainpipebomb.threadless.com for quality merchandise at amazing prices. Tune in next time for Pipe Bomb Radio NYC, and we'll catch you on the flip side.